All right. Well, finally, Terence Bud Crawford and Shawn Porter have met to discuss the potential of those two guys fighting each other. Let's talk about what happened from what we know of what happened and what that means in the welterweight division in this video. All right, welcome back, man. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for subscribing. If you're not subscribed, hope you accept my invitation to subscribe, and thank you to everybody that supports in the live streams and the super chats and the channel members. Let's talk about Terence Bud Crawford and Shawn Porter. Terence Bud Crawford is the WBO 147-pound champion. He is, in my book, the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. And he is looking for a credible opponent at 147 pounds. Well, actually, what he's looking for is a fight with Errol Spence Jr. But seeing as that fight's not going to take place for a little while, what I'm looking for is a fight with Terence Crawford and a very credible opponent. He has not had that yet at the welterweight division, and that has been mentioned by people from the PBC, both Tim Smith, I do believe, and Derek James, the trainer of Errol Spence Jr., that along with his kind of suspect pay-per-view and viewership numbers is a hurdle to having the Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. fight happen. So having known that, I started making a push, and other people started making a push as well, to try to get it out there that, hey, a good matchup for Terence Crawford would be Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter had just lost to Errol Spence Jr., but it was a very, very competitive fight where Errol Spence Jr. took Shawn Porter's WBC title, but Shawn Porter did not get ran over. He didn't get knocked out. He showed a lot of wrinkles to his game and a lot of abilities in his game that impressed a lot of people. So he didn't lose, in my opinion, he didn't lose very much. As a result, he didn't lose very much status as a result of losing to Errol Spence Jr. In fact, his status might have went up a little bit because a lot of people had expected Shawn Porter to get absolutely ran through. He did get beat up now, but he didn't get run through. It was an excellent fight. So it would make sense, at least in my logic, for Terence Crawford to fight Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter just fought Errol Spence. Terence Crawford wants to fight Errol Spence Jr. And who else is there for Terence Crawford to fight, really, over on the ESPN side? So after having had all these conversations and doing a lot of videos and people being in the comment section of Terence Crawford in his Instagram and in his Twitter page, also people doing videos on it, people asking Shawn Porter about it. Shawn Porter said, and they finally came around to releasing statements about it and said, hey, we need to get together and decide with one another whether or not we're going to fight. We're not going to be forced to fight. That was pretty much the message that came from both guys. But the first person to crack and start talking about considering to take the fight was Shawn Porter. And Shawn Porter said, okay, hey, we'll sit down at some point in time. We'll have a meeting. We'll decide as friends whether or not we want to move forward and whether we want to have this fight or not. So apparently, according to Boxing News 24, Shawn Porter and Terence Crawford have had that conversation now, and it appears as if Shawn Porter wants to fight Terence Crawford once we come out of this whole Corona thing. But in the same breath, this being Shawn Porter, there was like 3 other people that he said he wants to fight. Obviously, he and Terence Crawford want the Errol Spence Jr. fight. He also, Shawn Porter also mentioned Danny Garcia. He mentioned Keith Thurman. He mentioned obviously Terence Crawford, Manny Pacquiao, and Errol Spence. So there were like 5 people that Shawn Porter came out and said that he would be interested in fighting after we come back from this hiatus due to, this whole virus thing going on. And, so it's almost like, okay, yeah, we're in the same spot, man. What did you guys actually agree? You guys got together and agreed on what? That there would be, that you each would be on your list of people that you could possibly fight. To me, this to me is one of a fight in boxing that makes absolute perfect sense. But as we know, because it makes absolute perfect sense, more than likely it's not going to happen. Now, Terence Crawford, I have confidence in Terence Crawford as a fighter. What I do not have in confidence with Terence Crawford is that Terence Crawford is not playing games. And by games, I mean he's trying to set himself up for a Errol Spence Jr. fight or a Manny Pacquiao fight, and he's trying to take the least amount of risk that he possibly can. And I believe that he knows, and Bomac knows, and everybody else, anybody that's seen these guys fight, that Shawn Porter does not fit that bill. That Shawn Porter is somebody that is going to come in there to fight Terence Crawford, and he's going to be Terence Crawford's absolute toughest fight that he's ever had in his career. And there is a significant chance that Terence Crawford might come out of that fight with Shawn Porter, either with his first L or having his image affected because he was in a fight that was much closer than most people would have thought it would be when he and Shawn Porter went into the fight. Shawn Porter is the type of guy that is going to make you look bad. His whole game is designed around making you look bad. If you're somebody that fights very well from the outside, he is somebody that's going to come in, get on the inside. He can maul you, grab you, grapple with you. He's one of the better better fighters with his gamesmanship than about any that there is in boxing. Man, I used to watch Shawn Porter fights and just was like, God, dog, man, this dude fouls all of the time, man. He fouls so, I was like, the dude fouls so much that it is really must be very hard for the referees to keep up with it, because, hey, man, you might have to throw the guy out in the third round if you took a point away or you gave him a warning or deducted for everything the guy did. It's like an accumulation, snowballing hailstorm of fouls out of Shawn Porter. At least that's what I thought early in his career. But then Shawn Porter not only has that part of the game, Shawn Porter also has the ability to really outbox you from the outside. He is surprisingly athletic, nimble, and has both dimensions of his game, and he goes between the two very well. Also, Shawn Porter is somebody that is very, very experienced in championship fights in the welterweight division, having fought he fought a champion in Kell Brook. He's fought Errol Spence Jr. He's fought Keith Thurman. He's fought Danny Garcia. He's fought Yordanis Ugas. He's been a champion in the IBF. He's been a champion in the WBC. All of that speaks to a tremendous amount of experience, composure, and the fact that he is not going to be a soft touch at all for Terence Crawford. And I think Terence Crawford knows that. Bomac knows that. Bob Arum know that. And they don't want to risk the easy streak that they got going on with Terence Crawford, because although Terence Crawford may not be earning as much money as a Deontay Wilder or a Errol Spence or Manny Pacquiao or Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury in his last few fights, even though he's not earning that type of money, he's still earning a significant amount of money. My understanding is, and that might be correct, but from what I've heard is that he has guarantees that could be as much as $3 million, a $3 million minimum on the fight that he's fighting. So with somebody with that type of guarantee, if he can get two fights a year for 5 years, you know what I mean? That's $30 million that he can get fighting guys that are just, not that much. And it's not like it's not foreseeable that he could pull that off, because he really could. He's already been a middleweight welterweight champion for going on 2 years, and he ain't fought anybody yet. He's had one Horn, Benavidez, Khan, Igis Kalvanakis. That's 4, right? So that's $12 million right there, milking that. and then waiting for the big fight, not as if he would not fight the Errol, because the Errol Spence Jr. fight and the Manny Pacquiao fights are fights that can bring guys in, can bring guys $15-20 million. But it just doesn't seem seriously like either one of these guys are saying, yeah, that's the calculation that I want to make. That's the move I want to make. Same thing for Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter's looking for that big fight with Errol Spence, looking for the big fight with Manny Pacquiao. If he can get a Terence Crawford fight and it's enough money, I'm sure that he would take it. But at the same time, the money for that fight with Terence Crawford and the risk associated with Terence Crawford and the likelihood that he'll lose to Terence Crawford could take him out of the running for the big money fights that he's looking for. So, at the end of the day, I think both these guys got together, talked, and decided, nah, we're a little too dangerous for each other. Let's go knock off some other guys and see if we can match up or get together when that fight is worth more money. That's my take on it. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.